Hi everyone, it's Jay here, and these are the manga and manhwa releases for the first half of December. We're going to start with the Kodansha releases, Fire Force Manga Box Set 2. This set includes volumes 7 to 11 of the Fire Force manga and has an exclusive double-sided poster. Volume 4 of Initial D. This omnibus edition includes volumes 7 and 8 in this one. Keisuke Takahashi's technique is improving. As the Akagi Red Suns resume their travel challenging street racing teams, Keisuke goes up against one of the Night Kids on his home turf of Mount Myogi, but when roads turn slippery in a downpour, will they slide out of control or manage to reach the top? Mobile Suit Gundam Kukura's Doan's Island Volume 2. This is a spin-off of Yoshikazu Yasuhiko's Mobile Suit Gundam, The Origin. Unfolding with the franchise's classic mix of action and pathos, we see events including the decisive battle for Jaburo entirely from the Zeon perspective, with the Gundam itself forever looming in the background as a silent, unstoppable foe. Volume 4 of The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. Despite his new closeness with Kaoruko, the divide between Chidori and Kikyo become a constant source of worry for Rintaro. With Rintaro revealing his past struggles, the bonds of friendship deepen. Summer is right around the corner, and now that he has many friends to spend it with, it's time to make plans. Volume 6 of Tsugumi Project. After finally reaching the island of Sado, Leon and company encountered the race known as the Sky People. The cunning Omoikane then directs them to a derelict facility in the Forbidden Zone, hinting at answers to their deepest questions about the Toratsugumi project and the mysteries of the past. But what will they find there? Bloodblade Volume 4. The Justiciar's trackers are still on the party's tail, and Monster Island remains only a distant rumour. That's when Vlad suggests a daring plan. The party will cut through the heart of the Empire and pass right under their enemies' noses. To do so, they'll need some help from the mysterious nun who may be more than meets the eye. Noragami Stray God, Volume 27. This is the final volume of the series, so make sure you go pick this one up on the 10th of December. Tank Chair Volume 2. Nagi and Shizuka have managed to avoid a grisly death at the hands of two assassins, siblings from Nagi's past life enrolled at the mysterious academy. To make their escape from their terrifying duo, Shizuka moves her and Nagi across Gyucheng Island from one safe house to another, but Nagi's whereabouts have reached the ears of the leaders of the academy, an iron-fisted administrator known only as Sensei, who dispatches a prodigy at the art of murder to track Nagi down once and for all. Moving on to the Yen Press releases, we have Be My Worst Nightmare Volume 1. Sayo Hoshikawa, a high schooler who's insecure about his height, witnesses his unrequited crush getting rejected by a tall and handsome boy named Mashiba. Sayo challenges Mashiba to contest after contest, but he can't win a single time. Nothing gets more under his skin than when Mashiba calls him cute, but then he starts having strange dreams about a certain someone embracing him. Daughter of the Emperor Volume 9. Surviving until 18 is no easy feat when your dad is a tyrant, but luckily for Ria, she's no ordinary princess. A lot of things may have changed, but the three grown men who hover over her in adoration are still the same. Now as an adult, Ria navigates the palace with new responsibilities befitting the princess of an empire, such as entertaining guests, managing the palace, and greeting the new emperor of Praesia. Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody Volume 16. After his most arduous battles to date behind him, Sato realises he's neglected his comrades for too long, and there's only one way to remedy that: a tour of the capital. Will Sato finally get to enjoy a moment's peace? Delicious in Dungeon, the complete box set. Join Laos, Marcel, Chilchuk and Senshi as they delve into the depths to save their lost comrade and stuff themselves silly in the process. This box set includes 14 volumes of the series and an exclusive poster. Volume 2, Finding Camellia. All Camellia needs is for Kieran to return in good health so that she can leave House Bale to find her mother. But who is this prince of a rival nation who knows her secret and seems to be quite taken by her? Hereditary Triangle. Childhood friends Kotaro Fujiki, Kajiwara and Fuyuko thought they would always be together. They spent their youth in a strange love triangle, the two boys fighting over who would date Fuyuko. But suddenly one day, that life ends. Kajiwara goes missing, and Kotaro takes his sweetheart's hand in marriage. Now middle-aged, Kotaro is left to wonder, would his wife have chosen differently if Kajiwara was still around? On a visit to his hometown, the memories come rushing back. Magical Girl Incident Volume 3. This is the final volume of this series, which follows a salaryman who can transform into a magical girl. Men of the Harem Volume 1. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and newly crowned Emperor Latracile Valentine Tarium is no exception. Wronged by the man who swore to love her through thick and thin, Latiel has no illusions of finding a saccharine romance when she ascends the throne. No, she plans to cause her former lover the same agony she felt when he made another woman his empress, and she'll do so by taking 5 consorts herself. Minato's Laundromat Volume 4. Akira Minato has maintained a friendship with high schooler Shin, avoiding reciprocating the boy's advances toward him. But one day, Akira unintentionally breaks a promise he made to Shin, hurting him deeply. Shin then stops visiting the laundromat, upsetting Akira. How will their relationship ever recover? Pandora 7 Volume 4. Deep within the great temple of Necromany, inside a mysterious hidden room, the scholar Ser Piero recounts a tale of Humania's brutality. In his struggle against their oppressive faith, he uncovered several shocking truths, including the truth of Pandora's box. Revenge Agent Hizumi-san. Masaichi Hizumi is a revenge agent, professionally dishing out just desserts to anyone who may have incurred the wrath of his clients. His latest target, Mikoto Kuga, an elite salaryman, narcissist, and way more than 2-timing cheater. Hizumi's task is to teach this piece of trash a lesson by thoroughly humiliating him, body and spirit. Whether he's ready for it or not, Kuga is about to get his comeuppance, served with a smile by Hizumi. A new series called Stomp Kick Love. What's the best way to relax after a hard day's work? If you ask Kaho, it's to kick back and relax at a bar with her best drinking bro, Akira. Sure, everyone around her thinks he's pretty hot, but he smokes, gets in fights, and is a bit of a playboy, so definitely not boyfriend material. But when one thing leads to another and she wakes up in his bed one morning, it makes it infinitely harder to deny that there is absolutely nothing between them. Sword Art Online RE Aincrad Volume 2. Die in the game and you die in real life. This is Sword Art Online, and Kirito now finds himself trapped in its unforgiving virtual world. By chance he comes across a swordswoman named Asuna who agrees to team up with him to challenge the boss of the first floor. The Dark History of the Reincarnated Villainess Volume 11. After finally accepting her role as the villainess of her story, Iana is determined to fulfill her role to the bitter end, lest she lead other characters to an untimely end when such a fate was not theirs to bear. However, next on the chopping block is Orochi's brother. Can she truly turn her back and allow him to perish as per the story? The Detective is Already Dead Volume 6. This is the last volume of the series, so go check it out if you want to see how it all ends. The Devil is a Part-Timer Volume 22. As the Devil King's army fights the Iron Scorpions, Satan challenges Alciel to a one-on-one duel. Mau's made it this far relying on trickery and clever schemes, but can he demonstrate the personal strength needed to force the enemy leader to bend the knee? The Eminence in Shadow Volume 11. Upon arriving at the Oriana Kingdom, Sid is blindsided by the news that Princess Rose is set to wed Duke Perv, an unexpected development that will throw a major wrench in his future Shadow Broker plans. The Hachioji speciality, Tengu's Love. A visit to the Tengu village goes awry when Hime's jealous ex-fiancé shows up, and an excursion into the human world gets complicated when Kotaro's friend falls head over heels in love with Hime. How will he react? The Otherworld's books depend on the Bean Counter Volume 5. Tasked with investigating the church, this intrepid bean counter must somehow survive not just the potential political intrigue going on behind the scenes, but also the very air around him. Since magic itself is toxic to Kondo, stepping into a place so inundated could be considered a death sentence. What's worse, his dashing knight captain Aresh gets called away to deal with a dangerous magical beast. I'm so glad this is finally coming out. It has been a long wait since Volume 4. The Reformation of the World as Overseen by a Realist Demon King, Volume 5. Astaroth has been reincarnated into a strange new land as the 72nd Demon King, with a mission from a mysterious goddess to unite the world under his banner and reform its chaotic ways. With 2 demon lords now crushed beneath his heel, Astaroth's power is only increasing, but he's got no time to rest on his laurels. In search of a means to bolster his army even further, he heads to an abandoned ruin where he comes across a mysterious boy. Tomb Raider King Volume 9. Following his grueling battle with the chief commander, Juhon has to sleep for a week to recover, but the last thing he expected to wake up to was a 9-year-old son he didn't know he had. Touring After the Apocalypse Volume 5. Yoko and Irie are riding through Gunma Prefecture when Yoko collapses from inhaling Mount Asama's volcanic ashes. Luckily, a mysterious lone boy appears just in time to rescue the pair. He takes them to the nearby Kusatsu Hot Spring Resort for some much-needed rest and recuperation, but as the girl's relationship with him grows, getting back on the road becomes ever more complicated. When I Became a Commoner, They Broke Off Our Engagement Volume 4. After settling into her new life, Anna discovers life as a commoner is tougher than she imagined. Who knew even going to the market would be such a challenge? On the other hand, newly ennobled Annette is given a warm welcome to the prestigious Sennett's family, as well as a fiancé? The Metalhead Next Door, by Sublime. Impoverished graduate student Kento nearly freezes to death outside his new, cheap, unheated apartment during a blizzard. Luckily, he's saved by neighbour Soshi, a quiet and somewhat frightening young man who dresses in all black, although he exudes an aura that screams "keep away." His eyes, hidden behind long rocker hair, plead for something else. Over the following year, the two share meals together, but as the time passes, the closeted Kento finds it increasingly difficult to ignore his growing feelings. Worst soulmate ever. Impatient 29-year-old Omega Shishikura has watched all his friends get married while his own romances keep fizzling out. Determined to find his special someone, he turns to a matchmaking service. But while waiting for his perfect soulmate to be found, he goes into heat at the worst possible moment, alone with Kotani, a new co-worker who nurses a long-time grudge against Shishikura. From Dark Horse Comics, we have Innocent Omnibus 3. The rivalry between Charles Henry and his sister has hit a peak, and the conflict threatens to shatter the family legacy. Meanwhile, Charles meets a young prince who invites him to the Palace of Versailles, but this is no place for an executioner. This omnibus edition contains volumes 7, 8, and 9 of the original manga. Trigun Maximum Deluxe Edition Volume 3. Vash the Stampede is the deadliest gunslinger in the galaxy, but his brother Knives is the deadliest creature in existence. Knives is out to turn Planet Gunsmoke into just that, and he may soon grow too powerful to be stopped, though Vash may die trying. This hardcover deluxe edition contains volumes 7, 8, and 9. Moving on to the Viz Media releases, we have Blue Box Volume 13. Taiki is preparing to celebrate his 16th birthday with his family when an emergency leaves Chinatsu and Taiki alone together. What kind of present is Chinatsu cooking up for him, and will Taiki's heart be able to handle it? Blue Exorcist Volume 30. Exhausted by the effort to contain Satan, Shemi Haza has transferred her role to Shiemi. Rin and the other ex-wires are stunned to see Shiemi again, and old friends reunite. The exorcists and ex-wires of the Knights of the True Cross regroup and ready themselves for a renewed assault on Satan's stronghold, but this time the forces of the Illuminati will also be defending their father. Demon Slayer Kimetsu Academy Volume 4. It might be winter, but things at Kimetsu Academy show no signs of cooling off. If Gyu wants to enjoy some warm, freshly baked bread, he's going to have to overcome his embarrassment about his stern teaching style and set foot inside the Kamado bakery. Twisted Wonderland, the official art book. The Disney Twisted Wonderland mobile game features a concept inspired by classic Disney villains and reimagined by renowned manga artist Yana Toboso, creator of the series Black Butler. This deluxe book features character and card art from the hit game, including the stunning groovy card images. A section featuring sketches and handwritten notes provides fans of the series with a behind-the-scenes look at the creation of the striking character designs for every character in the series. And on the back you can see some of the artwork there. Dragon Ball Super Volume 22. Piccolo sneaks into the Red Ribbon Army's secret base and learns of their plan to try and conquer the world again. This time they have Dr. Hedo, a naive super genius and grandson of Dr. Gero, on their side, and have deceived him into helping them build androids. One of these androids is Cell Max, a giant, even more destructive version of the original Cell. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Shining Diamond's Demonic Heartbreak Volume 1. This is a spin-off from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, apparently set between its third and fourth parts. Whole Horse is entrusted with finding a missing parrot and takes Bongo to Morio. In the unfamiliar town, Whole Horse is haunted by a sudden vision and nearly struck by a car barreling down the street, but is saved from danger by another stand user, a young man with a pompadour and a school uniform. Kaiju number 8, exclusive on the 3rd Division, Volume 22. If you want to know more about the 3rd Division, this release is for you. It contains an exclusive sneak peek into the lives of the heroes, including new recruits Kafka and Reno, and their brutal training, Star Soldier Kikoru Shinomiya, the story behind her weapon, and Vice Captain Hoshina and his secret worries. Mashley, Magic and Muscles. This is volume 18 and it's the final volume of the series, so go read it on the 3rd of December to find out how it all ends. Neighborhood Story Volume 4. This is also the final volume of the series, so at 4 volumes it is a pretty short series, which is quite nice in some ways. Rainbow Days Volume 13. It's now or never for Natsuki. Will he manage to tell Anna how he feels about her before the school festival is over? Studio Ghibli Architecture in Animation. Learn how the visionary animation studio brings its vibrant worlds to life through hundreds of pieces of concept art, sketches and background paintings that illuminate the architectural inspirations of Studio Ghibli's animated classics. Distinctive interiors, imaginative exteriors, breathtaking landscapes, and the interplay between the three are all examined in detail through collected remarks from acclaimed director Miyazaki, exclusive commentary from renowned architect Terunobu Fujimori, and quotes from the artists and art directors of Studio Ghibli's beloved films. The King's Beast Volume 4. Prince Tenyo's reforms have been well received by the Ajin of his country, but the rulers of the neighbouring kingdoms are anything but pleased. With war brewing on the borders, Rongetsu and the prince travel to a market town to seek information from a mysterious merchant. Akane Banashi Volume 9. Akane is finally able to show off her father's Rakugo to the world, but in doing so she discovers there was something lacking, which means there's a chance for his style and for herself to grow. Call of the Night Volume 18. Nazuna must find a new home fit for a vampire. Meanwhile, Ko begins attending school in the daytime again, forcing him to deal with, people. Then, will Nazuna's developing feelings threaten the object of her affection? D. Greyman Omnibus Volume 25 to 27. Alan continues his transformation into Nia, the mysterious 14th inside him, when a shocking revelation from the Millennium Earl traps Alan in Nia's spirit world. He desperately seeks to understand the entity that's using him like a puppet. Perhaps his own past can offer some clues. Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 24. Military forces from foreign countries invade the Culling Game, seeking to harness the unlimited potential of cursed energy. However, the soldiers soon find themselves facing off against a horde of cursed spirits. One Piece Omnibus 34. A superstar battle royale begins as Luffy's crew once again goes up against Kaido and the power players allied with the 4 Emperors of the Sea. This omnibus edition is 600 pages long. My Stepmother and Stepsisters Aren't Wicked Volume 5. While attending the prestigious Eiho Ladies Academy, Mia certainly has her hands full as she tries to balance days filled with learning to cook, attending lectures and studying for exams. And though she's made a few friends, she still struggles to find her place in a school full of daughters from Japan's most distinguished families. So when it's announced that her class will be holding an election for class president, and 2 of her friends are candidates, Mia learns just what it means to support the ones you care about. Also from 7 Seas Entertainment, we have Volume 3 of The Condemned Villainess Goes Back in Time. The entire student body is preparing for the school festival when the orchestra's instruments go missing. Of course, Claudia becomes a target of suspicion, but she recognizes the incident for what it is: Fermina's latest scheme. As Fermina becomes more desperate, Claudia decides to fight back, teaming up with her allies to set a trap for Fermina. Hoteri Hotet's First Kiss. This is Koko Uzuki's first anthology, and it contains 4 heartwarming manga tales about first kisses. No spicy romance allowed. This is a BL Omegaverse manga about a flashy alpha model and his Omega manager. Makoto is as average and ordinary as an Omega gets. He's nothing like Ryo, the model du jour he's been assigned to manage. Ryo is charismatic, popular, drop-dead gorgeous, and most importantly an alpha. Everything Makoto can't stand. Makoto is determined to keep their relationship strictly business, even though Ryo seems fixated on winning over his prickly new manager with sweet talk and claims of love at first sight. How long can Makoto keep saying no comment to Destiny? Who Made Me a Princess Volume 8. The Emperor remains unconscious as Athanasia confronts her uncle and his claim to the throne. Unfortunately, without her father, Athi can do very little to keep the late Emperor at bay. As Claude's condition continues to deteriorate, Athanasia and Lucas confront the dangerous reality of their only option: using the power of the World Tree. Its power is all-consuming, threatening to whisk away Athi's sense of self and trap her soul in the essence of the world. Killing Stalking Deluxe Edition Volume 8. This is the final volume of the series, so make sure to go buy it if you've been reading it. The Strange House Volume 2. Mie-san's theories about the Saitama house were plenty chilling on their own, but with Kurihara's help, they come to realise she's only scratched the surface of its secrets, literally. Why does it have a secret basement? Also adapted into a horror film called The Floor Plan. The Villainess Who Has Been Killed 108 Times. She Remembers Everything, Volume 4. This is the last volume of the series, so find out how it all ends for Scarlet in this one by going out and reading it. At 2500 in Akasaka. This is Volume 2. The hit homosexual drama Hiru no Yume is back, and this time on the big screen. Asami Hayama and Yuki Shirasaki are of course returning to their leading roles. Their on-screen love affair was the talk of the season last winter. However, most people don't know Hayama and Shirasaki are following their characters' example off-screen. This is a problem on set when a new cast member gives Shirasaki attention that stirs Hayama's jealousy. The Eccentric Doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom Volume 8. They have glimpsed a sinister plot linked to the STEM sect and the ambitious consort Ro, and must try and decide what to do. How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift Volume 2. While experimenting with next generation VR, Hibiki and her friends get transported to a fantasy world. Luckily, their strength training makes them worthy opponents against deadly monsters and dangerous dungeons. But if they can't find a way out, they'll be stuck there forever. Play Me Softly, a BL manga where romance is fueled by an unforgettable first love and a shared passion for music. Aihara, a straight-laced office worker who plays in a concert band on the side, is having a hard time moving on from his first love. But one day Hayama, the very classmate who'd first stolen Aihara's heart in high school, joins the band. Reunited with an old flame, Aihara's feelings are sure to be rekindled. Guilty Smile Volume 1, a spicy romance from Seven Seas Steamship imprint. It's about a princess whose fate lies in the hands of a man seeking vengeance against her family. When Princess Layla's kingdom falls, she has one final duty: to act as a body double for her twin sister and face death at the hands of rebel leader Prince Khalifa, who just happens to be her first love. Princess Layla's ruse to deceive the prince by impersonating her sister works, but it turns out he has other plans for her. Seeking revenge on the princess who imprisoned and tormented him, Khalifa puts a curse on Layla that forces her to submit to his every whim. Can she endure the grudge of a man she once loved in order to protect her sister, or will she accept her role as a doll that lives only to serve him? A new series called Sweet Room Escape. Globetrotting businessman Haruto has achieved the optimal formula for work-life balance. Work hard and party harder off hours. With a hookup in each city, Haruto thinks he has it made. But en route to France, the hotshot meets his match in the genteel, winsome Albrecht. From an invitation to drinks to the best night ever in a luxury suite, it's as if fate itself brought them together. But now Haruto can't seem to escape that heavenly night and resume his carefully crafted, no-strings-attached game plan, especially when Albrecht seems to be plotting to capture Haruto's heart. Kemono Jihen, Volume 14. The Tanuki vs Fox battle begins in this one. Meanwhile, Kabane and his friends finish their training with Fukuhime while en route to Yashima. No Love Zone, Volume 2. After giving his boss Ji-hyuk an earful, Young-kyum is hopeful things will start going his way. Unfortunately, it's not long before his hopes are dashed. First, Manager Park tries to blame Young-kyum for a mistake that definitely wasn't his fault. Then he's forced to take a very drunk Ji-hyuk home after a company dinner. Will things finally go his way once he gets Ji-hyuk to bed, or are they about to go wrong in the worst, best possible way? A new series called 100 Ghost Stories That Will Lead to My Own Death. One day, an elementary school child named Yuma tries to jump to his death out of his classroom window. His classmate Hina stops him and, in a bid to stall for time, asks him, "Do you know the round of 100 ghost stories?" Hina tells Yuma about a ritual where if you tell 100 ghost stories, you'll see ghosts afterward. Learning this gives Yuma a new lease on life. Chapter by chapter, he shares ghost stories with the reader, slowly but surely inching his way toward 100. A Stepmother's Mershan, Volume 5. It is almost the Mershan Shuri's 19th birthday, and love is in the air, for everyone else at least. Jeremy is preparing for his upcoming marriage, Elias is off with a new girl seemingly every day, even little Rachel has a budding romance of her own with a foreign prince, but Shuri mustn't let her guard down, because Cardinal Richelieu is plotting. The Kingdoms of Ruin, Volume 9. Feared worldwide as the Witcher's apprentice, Adonis plots bloody revenge upon all humanity. Both he and his companion Doroka take a detour to the medical nation of Markpoint, which boasts very advanced science. Markpoint presents itself as a beacon of scientific progress, but there is evil and malice at the heart of their utopia, a malice answered in kind by Adonis, who will not be denied. The Concierge at Hokkyoku Department Store, Volume 2. This is the conclusion to the story of the unique department store where all the customers are animals. A game as the hero's friend, Volume 3. In this isekai fantasy, a modern man is reincarnated into a game world as a doomed background character, Lord Werner, who can help save the world as the hero's shadow. Now he faces a completely different ordeal as he attempts to plan the kingdom's long-term survival. It's time for him to use all his experience as a fan of classic role-playing games to organise a military defence. Moving on to the TokyoPop releases, we have Sanctify Volume 2. As their investigation into the vicious ritual killings continues, Lance and Gil return to the scene of the massacre at St. Mary's Orphanage, where Lance's sight uncovers new clues and reveals the fate of the two boys at the centre of the incident. How are they connected to the murders in the present, and what can their tragic tale tell Lance about his own? Double Volume 5. This is the winner of the Excellence Award in the manga division of the 23rd Japan Media Arts Festival in 2020. Scatterbrain Takara Takarada is a genius actor whose latest role in the play, A Beginner's Course in Revolution, Hiryuden, has put him squarely back in the acting game. Alongside his co-stars Yujin Kamashima and Aki Imagire, the complexity of their relationships helps deepen their understandings of their roles as opening night approaches. What does it mean to be the greatest actor in the world? When confronted again by the looming impossibility and contradictions of his ambition, Takara instinctively tries to flee, as he has so many times before. World's End Bluebird Volume 2. In a world ruled by a powerful sorcerer who carries with him Prometheus's fire, society is split into two: Twilight City, the slums, and Paradiso, a city of opulence and wealth. After handing Guang over to the mob to save his own life, Rei follows Guang's secret path to Paradiso, in hopes of finding others who will help him save Guang before it's too late. Meanwhile, Guang is being held captive by his younger brother, who plans to become the new sorcerer of Paradiso by whatever means necessary. The Person I Loved Asked Me to Die in My Sister's Stead. Lady Wisteria's greatest wish is to be worthy of the man she loves, Lord Bright. But when Wisteria's little sister, Rosalie, is selected to enter the Pre-Dawn realm as its guardian, never to return, Bright begs Wisteria to take Rosalie's place. After all, Wisteria is skilled with magic and resistant to the sinister miasma that threatens the mortal world. Heartbroken, Wisteria enters the Pre-Dawn realm accompanied by the sacred sword Sartis. More than 20 years later, a stranger with a familiar face appears, demanding the sword and challenging Wisteria. Who is he, and why does he resemble Lord Bright? Whales of the Bound Beta Volume 2. There are many reasons Shingo Uto and Sumito Sasabe are a bad match. Omega Sasabe has a reason to despise Betas. Beta Uto has already fallen in unrequited love once with an Omega who ended up with an Alpha instead. Will they finally be drawn together? From Square Enix we have Volume 8 of The Ice Guy and the Cool Girl. As Himuro and his workplace crush, Fuyutsuki, have slowly but steadily grown closer to one another, both inside the office and out, his feelings for her can barely be held in check. However, Fuyutsuki finds out she's going to be sent to work overseas, an assignment that she's been secretly hoping to receive. When Himuro hears that they're going to be separated, how will he react? So those are the releases for the first half of December. There are a lot of volumes and there's quite a few series ending. I hope there was something there that caught your eye. I definitely found some volumes that I want to buy. As always, feel free to use the code Jay'sManga to get an extra 5% off SciFire's already cheap prices. I hope you have a lovely manga buying month, everyone. Bye!